Hi, and welcome to our Partner Playbook. My name is Tanya Gentry. I'm the Chief Sales Officer here at Big Red Media MSP Success. And today I have the privilege of talking with Cam Roberson with Beachhead Solutions. He's VP of Sales and Marketing. And we're going to go through their partner program and some tips on what MSPs can be successful with them. So, hey, Cam, thanks for joining me.
Well, thanks for having me, Tonya. It's my pleasure.
Awesome.
And I welcome the opportunity to talk with your members.
Yeah. So for those who are listening that may not be familiar with Beachhead Solutions, can you tell us a little bit about your company?
Yeah, sure. So we've been in business for actually a fair number of years in the channel since about 2015, where we are exclusively today. But early on, we were born of military applications. The U.S. Army specifically was looking for a way to blow up data on PCs attached to Humvees and other vehicles. So we gave them that capability. It's still part of the product, though most MSPs and their clients choose a more articulate, granular, and recoverable approach. Though sometimes, blowing up compromised data is the appropriate approach. But our platform is called BeachheadSecure. It's for MSPs, as I mentioned. It's to provide, access control, layered encryption. In fact, over 75 of the controls required of the various compliance mandates, including FTC safeguards, CMMC 2.0, HIPAA, and several others. So we provide, as I mentioned, things like multi-factor authentication and encryption and so forth. We also have a feature of the product that measures environmental and behavioral risks and takes an escalating path of automatically addressing those risks with a number of different responses that would assist in mitigating it, including, for instance, that ability to remove access to the data on a device or removing their access to communicate and so forth. So all designed to be the eyes and ears of the MSP on those remote devices with reporting, with documentation, and so forth. So kind of a long-winded answer.
No, but that's really cool. I know we've been working together for quite a few years now, and I didn't know you could blow things up like that. So that's great. So thank you very much. So let's
years
talk
ago.
about.
Years ago, it used to be called lost data destruction, which quite possibly was the worst product name in the history of product names.
Yeah. But you're doing great now. So let's talk about the partner program. What are some of the key benefits and features of your program?
Well, in addition to just being, I think, really easy to work with, we train our partners well. We're happy to retrain them. If they bring on new employees and so forth, we're happy to get them up to speed. But for Robin Robins members, there's a pretty significant discount. So that's one thing. We also provide Robin Robins members or TMT members with 20 free licenses. And so our approach is use it for yourselves. You'll never be charged. A bit of a gimmick. Obviously, we want to partner with your members. But if they choose not to, the product is still theirs to use internally forever. And, so that is the case if you choose to partner with us. That's certainly the case if you choose not to. So it's free. Discounted pricing. And we have really good relationships with a great many of your partners, your members. And we like your organization, mostly because I think your members sort of get it, right? In terms of security, compliance, and the things that distinguish their practice. So.
Is there a lot of training in there too? I know you said training, but especially, with some of these, the compliance pieces, like you said, CMMC 2.0 and those types of things, if I'm thinking of doing that, or getting prepared for that? Are those some things that you guys have as far as training inside of your partner program as well?
In a bit. I'll mention that we've got a white paper. We actually had one of your board members, I believe he's a board member, John DePero, helped contribute to. He's outstanding, understands compliance inside and out. A white paper, and in that white paper, we've mapped all the controls, let's say all the features and capabilities of our product to those that are required in CMMC 2.0 and so on and so forth. So that's available today. Just sort of a hint coming down the road. We will have that part of our product. So you'll be able to see, for instance, things by definition as they're delineated, as they're defined in the various mandates, least access privilege, and be able to see how BeachheadSecure solves that. And so if you have a regulated client who is, needs to be CMMC 2.0 compliant, for instance, you'll see our features mapped to the control numbers within that mandate. And so that's coming down the pipe. That will assist, not necessarily train, but it will assist an MSP with providing those services, that compliance expertise for those clients.
That's great. When you guys are looking, when you're getting partners or you're having a partner, what do you look for from an MSP as a partner?
Somebody who doesn't begin the conversation with, I need the low cost, because I'm being a little facetious. We have, knowledgeable, expert MSPs who control the narrative. If that is to say, they're focused on a holistic, comprehensive offering for their clients. If the client is dictating, what's important, and usually that's price, typically it's not a great match. But if somebody comes to me and says, we're looking for holistic, comprehensive security, not just ransomware, but we're looking at insider risk, or we need to be compliant, or our clients need to be compliant, or we're looking out for nefarious, insider risk, or poor user security hygiene. That's the kind of client that we're looking for. And as well, we are those who are able to communicate it. And so I'm kind of getting off on a tangent here, I apologize, but one of the things we provide are demonstrable evidence that their service, that is the MSP service, is of value. It is differentiable. It is distinguished from all the, call them commodity type providers. And so, certainly today, compliance expertise is something that an MSP should want to convey. And somebody who has an understanding and wants to move in that direction, I know immediately that's the kind of partner that is going to be a good fit with Beachhead.
So that brings up a good point. What are some of the ways that a partner can be successful with Beachhead, or using Beachhead, even if you want to go into that?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think by demonstrating a holistic and comprehensive approach to their data security and compliance, I think as a rule, we have been uber focused on ransomware and avoidance of ransomware. And yet there are many other risks to our data, to our networks and so forth. And so these other places that represent threats, insider threat, lost and stolen devices, compliancy violations, those all need to be addressed. And I think that Beachhead provides an MSP the opportunity to present a holistic approach, a comprehensive approach to security. And to my earlier point, with evidence that you're doing so. We've just built a brandable piece with some of these items that you can use when you're bringing a client on board, or in your QBR sessions, to sit down and show them, for instance, what's going to happen when somebody travels 5 miles beyond where they're supposed to be, 15 miles, 30 miles, 50 miles.
Oh, wow.
You sort of get an engaged relationship with your client, and they're thinking, hey, these guys understand that it's beyond just ransomware. We need to worry about these items as well. And so, that sort of showing of those capabilities, that you're thinking of other risks, that you've got answers in place and responses in place automatically, 24/7, 365, tells the client that you've got that broader perspective and that you're looking at things holistically. And if I may, I think it builds trust with your clients. I think they move more to a consultative relationship, that they value your expertise, and it moves them away from that pricing discussion. Pricing's always going to be important, I get it, but that shouldn't be the number one determinant. Rather, distinguish your practice based on having this holistic approach. And we provide a lot of tools like that where it's, easily understood. A client can see, oh, okay, here's what's going to happen when we get 50 external attempts to authenticate the system, or, invalid logon attempts, or somebody's futzing with your security software.
Right.
And
right.
not just ours, but anything.
Right.
Reporting, documentation, things that, and the compliancy tab that I was discussing, when we build that in, you'll be able to demonstrate, hey, we understand what's required of HIPAA. Here they all are. Here's how we're addressing them. So things like that, being able to show the holistic approach to security with evidence. It's here it is. Take a peek. And I think it builds better relationships with the client.
Definitely. I can definitely see that. I ask every vendor that I'm talking to, because I know I've yet to meet one that says their customer feedback's not important. But what are some of the things that you're hearing from your partners that's on your partners' minds
today?
Yeah.
Clients.
Yeah.
People
I would say that. I mean, I'm hearing that on the marketing and sales side of it, so I can definitely understand that. Yeah.
And there's understandably a great deal of anxiety about it, right? It's like, what does this mean? I think there's going to be a whole bunch more audits, much more scrutiny of MSPs. There's going to be greater recognition by some companies that, hey, I'm regulated by, one that comes to mind is FTC safeguards rule.
Right.
And so that expertise is going to be sought by our MSP community. And so I think everybody's a bit nervous about it. And there are reasons to be a little bit nervous. I think the time is now to kind of get smart. And I'm certainly willing to help anybody, not that I consider myself expert, but guys like John DePero certainly are. And to start figuring out what their answer is when client A comes and says, hey, I'm subject to FTC safeguards. What do you know? What can you do? What's your stack do to assist in that regard? And you want to have, some answers, right? You don't want to look, like you're just now thinking about it.
Right.
Because I think more and more of these discussions will happen. So time is likely now to start really understanding what is required. And by the way, looking at it from the flip side, I think it's an opportunity to differentiate your practice from the also-rans.
I agree with that 100%. Okay, so last question. Can you share anything that's coming down the roadmap for your partners, or any enhancements that you guys are doing to your partner programs for this year, or even going into 2025?
Yeah, certainly with the product what we're calling, at least at this point, a compliancy tab, mapping all the functions of BeachheadSecure against the control numbers required actually, we've built it starting with the CSF framework, the cybersecurity framework, and the NIST 800-171, and then to all the others. That made sense. It was quite a time-consuming project, not terribly difficult, but in any event, that will be part of the product that will assist greatly for an MSP serving a regulated client.
Okay.
We're going to continue to provide tools by which the MSP can communicate that expertise to their clients. Very simple, brandable tools. That is, what we're focused on next. Not so much an enhancement to the program. It's free. It can't be much better than free.
Yeah.
At least for your MSP members. But try it. See if it will fit within your holistic, comprehensive approach to security. And if it does, we'd love to partner with you.
Perfect. And we'll make sure that we include your website on here. Thank you so much, Cam. It's always nice talking to you. Can't wait to see you in person in Vegas in a couple months. And for those MSPs that are listening to this clip of the Partner Playbook, thank you guys, and more to come.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you all.